Good morning, everybody. Heather Coleman here, heatherlcoleman.com. I offer private and semi-private readings, any length, any format, email. It's all on the website. If you click on services, 15 minutes, an hour, whatever. 2 people, a group. So Reiki, energy work, all the good stuff. We've got a very interesting combination of energies here. We've got the Power of Surrender deck by Judith Orloff. And our first card is going to be from there for today. Interesting, we've got Surrender Your Fear of Change. This is really, the fear of change is really just part of the human, among other themes this year. There's a lot of ushering out of the old, maybe old situations, old routines, old habits, old ways of keeping your home, old ways of working. Maybe old relationships, maybe you've been letting go of some people or will this year. That last one I've definitely been experiencing myself. Okay, I don't know if that created a pause. I had to turn my Wi-Fi back on because the connection got weird, but I'm going to read everybody this card here, and I'm also going to show you the image. We've got the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. I have faith that all is well. So we've got Surrender Your Fear of Change. And we're going to go over to some tarot next. Normally I like to draw the cards in advance, but there's also a real advantage to drawing the cards during the reading. There's kind of a spontaneity to it, I guess you could say. We're going to go to the suit of Major Arcana. So something to keep in mind about this particular message, and this is going to be for most, I think, of you that find this video. If this part of the reading doesn't resonate, just let it go. But that doesn't mean that the rest of the reading won't be for you either. Keep in mind with Major Arcana that this is all-encompassing, meaning this is going to encompass every area of your life. So this might feel really big, whatever this is concerning. And we've actually got 2 cards. I thought it was just going to be 1, but we've actually got 2. And they go together. Fascinating. We've got the Dreamer and Life Experience, which would be the Tower. This has been coming up a lot, both in the readings I've been doing, the card draws I've been doing, a lot of the content creators I follow, been getting a lot of the Tower, both upright and reversed. Now, in this deck, it's called Life Experience, but keep in mind that whether we're talking about upright or reversal, it talks about a collapse of an existing structure. Makes perfect sense given the fact that we literally just had this card, Surrender Your Fear of Change. Sometimes you are creating the Tower moment. You're taking a leap. You might be creating sort of a sudden situation for someone else, but keep in mind, and this is going to resonate with a lot of you, maybe, for example, you've been telling someone that you're only able to remain in a relationship if there is change. And if there hasn't been change, if the needle hasn't been moving, you need to move on to do what's best for yourself. And that might indeed create sort of a tower for someone else, but it doesn't have to be a tower for you because it's been a long time coming that you've known, this is what I need to feel whole. This is what I need to feel secure. This is what I need to be living. Have you internet's acting weird today. Sorry about that. So if something does happen for you unexpectedly, remember how that message came through. It's happening for you. Affirm. Everything is happening for me. We have the Dreamer, and in some tarot decks, this is called the Fool, Major Arcana 0. I like this name better because it's like you're just starting something, you're recreating. So whatever's falling away in your life or whatever you're sending out of your life, really be aware of what you're wanting to call in, how you want to feel, how you want your life to look, what you're creating. I love this message. Love those 2 cards together. We're only going to have 2 more cards today, period. We've got 1 Major Arcana, and not Major Arcana, 1 more tarot. Might feel like a Major Arcana though. The 9 of Water again. This came up last week. Some of you might have seen that video where we had a whole bunch of double and triple numbers. It was such a powerful reading. And I love that this card is coming up again, the Nine of Water or Summer in this deck. So we're talking about wishes being granted. So I like how this really piggybacks. We just had a message encouraging us to surrender any fear of change, to get grounded. When we go inward and we are aware of what we want, we can work with the changes, with the currents, with the energies in our lives to get wishes granted. So let's say something happened unexpectedly and maybe it's difficult, change is difficult. The thing to do is to ask yourself, what do I want? How do I want things to shift? What do I want my life to look like? And what do I want today? What do I want tomorrow? What do I want next year, next month? So you get the idea. Wishes granted. The law of attraction states that you will attract what you are truly emanating, what you are truly at a deep vibration level, what you're putting out there. So keep focusing on what you want. Keep focusing on what you want. We're going to have one card here from author Stephen Farmer. We've got messages from your animal spirit guides, oracle cards. It's actually been a little while since I've even drawn from this deck at all, much less used this deck in one of my videos. And so I like the fact that we've got this energy here with us today. The card that's coming up is Penguin. Penguin, kind of interesting that we've got a cold climate animal during a time when the weather's getting so warm for probably the majority of you. Although this message is timeless, so this just goes to show, yeah, we're doing this like, what, third week of May, 26, but whenever this video finds you or whenever it pops up again, it's got something that you need to hear. So oh, I love this message. Penguin says right on here, guys, right in black and white, literally, figuratively, the period of darkness that you've been experiencing is now passing. Life is getting better. For a lot of people, this is going to have something to do with the fact that the 6-year mark after COVID-19 causing so many changes, the 6-year point is very critical for a lot of us. I've been hearing a lot of people say this, that in so many social settings, and not just like recreational, work settings with social events like company picnics, things like that. Social dancing in my life is where this is showing up a lot. But we're really at a point of true reconnection, and we are reaching this year a new normal after COVID-19. So that's, I think, for many people where we might say the period of darkness is passing, where you're finally getting reconnected and feeling less isolated. I think that's happening for a lot of people right now. Some of you might be experiencing some interesting things. I'll talk a little bit about what you might be noticing. You might notice that you get overwhelmed from people now because many of you have been used to so much solitude. I personally relate to this. I'm experiencing this. And it's nice to know I'm not the only one, because I would not have this message for you if it wasn't for so many of you. You might notice that it's almost like you don't know how to tell people to back off anymore, or you get more overwhelmed from people's energy because you've had so much solitude. And so that's one part of the message, is learning nice ways to let people know when you need your space. I was at a dance the other night. I wasn't ready to dance yet. A couple people asked me. I just said, I'm not dancing yet. And I saw someone at the dance that had a sign around their neck that said, I'm not dancing yet. And I thought I might make something like that up for myself. It sounds silly, but it's almost like a bubble's closed, folks. But you get the general idea about this. For some of you, you might be going back to working in an office setting. You might think about creative ways to just tell people, these are the hours. If you can try to approach me during these times of day, and hold off during other times of day, I'm more productive. That makes sense. Maybe you just say, this is my schedule. I'm trying to, whatever you want to call it, uninterrupted time during these hours. If you need to come and see me, could you come in between 9 and 11 and 1 and 3? So kind of like how professors have office hours. So some of you might need to do that in your work life to be most productive and focused. Some of you, it might be more in your social and personal life, just setting boundaries. And maybe just knowing how, just practicing the things you can say to others in terms of what you need. Because now that we're all reconnecting, we may have forgotten how to communicate in certain ways with individuals because we've been so used to that social distance. So have patience with yourself, have patience with others, and let's see if there's any further messages from our penguin animal guide. I'm going to look at the guidebook because this hasn't come up many times at all. And let's just see a little bit more about this. You've endured hardships in your life, sometimes gracefully, sometimes awkwardly. Listen, nobody's perfect. Yet, you've learned life lessons that have been invaluable in forming the person you are today. So in terms of the social reconnection, you're showing up differently. You have different standards now. These experiences have influenced the kind of personality and character you possess. However, the path you've taken has ultimately been influenced by the choices you've made in response. It's how you've chosen to respond. So the other thing I want to say that's coming through about all of this, we have this period of so many of us being in more solitude. For some people, it was the first time they had solitude on a regular basis in their whole lives with COVID-19. Now that so many of us are reconnecting, spending more time around people, think about what you learned about yourself and stay true to that. You want to still carve out solitude so you can stay true to you, because this has been an opportunity for all of us to reconnect to our authentic self and to bring that into these new connections. So again, we're piggybacking on our message from last week about all these new social connections. Other than that, I'm going to draw a bonus card on the Power of Surrender from the Power of Surrender deck, which is, again, I think very relevant given all these messages we've just had about things leaving our lives, whether they're leaving on their own or we're ushering them out. Now, some of it I foresaw for me, in my case, some of it I didn't. And I think that's probably going to be true for a lot of you. So couldn't be a better time. Surrender to your intuition. There's also been a lot coming up around those of us that are so into the metaphysical. I know you are. If you're on this video, I know you are. I am. And so understandably, folks like ourselves, we like to be around others that are connected to the other side. And we love getting messages from each other, don't we? You don't need to stop doing that. But what Spirit really wants you to do is to put even more of a focus on tuning into your own intuition. That's going to go along with what just came through about carving out solitude regularly, especially if you're now around people more often. Finding solitude so that you can stay connected to your true self, your intuition. And keep paying attention to your gut feelings when you're making decisions, when you're in situations. So double down on your intuition, tune into your inner voice, be aware, gut feelings. I gave you that message before I read this. You can't make this stuff up. Pay attention to any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. And that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. If you're over YouTube and something really gave you some benefits from this, something that came through, please consider subscribing, give the video a like, leave a comment. Really helps so I can bring you more content that is true to what you need. Other than that, my website is heatherlcoleman.com. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week. Until next time.